If you're thinking about moving to the Hartford area and one town keeps coming up again and again, West Hartford, this video is for you. Because West Hartford is one of the most talked about towns in Connecticut. It's competitive, it's not cheap, and for the right buyer, it absolutely delivers. But here's where people get it wrong. They think West Hartford is just the center. And if that's all you understand about this town, you're missing most of the picture. And you could very easily choose the wrong part of town or even the wrong town altogether. If we haven't met yet, my name's David Constant, and I'm a local real estate agent here in the Hartford area. And I specialize in helping people relocate to towns like West Hartford, Glastonbury, Wethersfield, and more. I live here, I work here, I raise my kids here, and I help buyers figure out not just where to live, but where they'll actually be happy long term. Be sure to stick around to the end, because one of West Hartford's biggest strengths is the exact reason why some buyers decide it's just not the right fit. Before we get into lifestyle, let's ground this in context, because the numbers explain why West Hartford feels the way it does. West Hartford has about 64,000 people spread out across roughly 22 square miles. That puts the density at around 2,900 people per square mile, which is high for a suburb. And that density is a big reason why West Hartford feels more active and more connected than other towns. For comparison, Avon has just about 19,000 residents and is quieter and more spread out. Glastonbury has about 35,000 residents, but over more land, so it feels more suburban and car dependent. Farmington sits somewhere in between, but again, with less density than West Hartford. So when people say West Hartford feels more lively than other Hartford suburbs, that's not opinion, it's simple math. And this isn't just a local opinion. West Hartford is a big reason why Zillow recently named the Hartford area the #1 real estate market in the country for 2026. When you look at the demand, competition, school quality, and long-term stability, West Hartford consistently shows up as one of the anchors driving that ranking. West Hartford tends to attract a very specific kind of buyer. Most buyers are in their 30s to early 40s, usually with young kids or planning for them. They're often trading up equity, relocating from a big city like Boston or New York, or cashing in on strong income. And they understand up front that West Hartford is not cheap, competition is very real, and most homes will require some investment over time. They're okay with that because they see West Hartford as a long-term play. And it's not an accident that West Hartford attracts this type of buyer. It consistently competes for best places to live in Connecticut on platforms like niche.com, often along Glastonbury and Avon. That reputation keeps demand strong year after year. If you're actively planning a move, I've linked a relocation resource below that breaks down West Hartford and nearby towns side by side to help you narrow down this list faster. Schools are one of the biggest drivers of demand in West Hartford. The West Hartford Public School District serves just over 9,000 students across over 15 schools. And one thing that really stands out is consistency. Across platforms like Niche and State Reporting, West Hartford schools are almost always graded an A or an A+ overall. And that reliability matters to families, especially planning long term. They're not betting on one great school, they're buying into a district that performs year after year. There are over 10 elementary schools, and zoning matters. Names buyers ask most about are schools like Bugby, Norfolk, Braeburn, and Morley. West Hartford also has 2 middle schools, King Philip and Sedgwick. And it also has 2 large, high-performing high schools, Hall High and Conard High. The high schools are big schools, which means more AP classes, more athletics, more arts, and more opportunity. Here's the critical truth. West Hartford is not one lifestyle. It's several distinct living experiences inside one town. West Hartford Center. When people picture West Hartford, they're usually thinking of the center, and for good reason. This is the walkable core of the town. Restaurants, coffee shops, boutiques, bars, fitness studios, everything clustered into an area that actually gets used, not just talked about. This is where West Hartford feels most alive. You've got well-known spots like Max's Oyster Bar, Treva, Barcelona, Bar Taco. And those places aren't just for special occasions. They're part of the weekly rhythm for a lot of residents. On a nice weekend morning, the center feels busy in a good way. People grabbing coffee, walking dogs, pushing strollers, meeting friends. But that same energy comes with real trade-offs. Parking can be frustrating, especially during dinner hours. Traffic increases on Friday and Saturday nights, and homes near the center tend to be older, closer together, and more expensive. Living near the center is incredible if you love being in the middle of things, but it might be overwhelming if congestion and noise wear on you quickly. Elmwood is another neighborhood, and it sits on the southern side of town and has a noticeably different feel. It's denser, more urban, and more transitional, especially compared to other parts of West Hartford. Homes here are often older, smaller lots, and closer together. You'll notice heavier through traffic because of how the area connects Hartford and Newington and the surrounding towns. Elmwood is often where buyers find a lower entry point into West Hartford. It works best for those who prioritize location and affordability over space and separation. As you move toward the northwest part of town, off Mountain Road and near Wood Pond, that field changes dramatic. Lots get bigger, streets get quieter, traffic drops off. This is where many families land when they love West Hartford schools and community, but don't want the day-to-day intensity of the center. Same school district, completely different daily experiences. Then you have Bishop's Corner, and this area often surprises people. Bishop's Corner is not about nightlife or hanging out, it's about convenience. This is where people run errands, grocery shop, and get things done. If West Hartford Center is about energy, Bishop's Corner is about efficiency. On the western edge of the town near Farmington, you have the West Farms Mall in Route 44 corridor. Highly convenient, very commercial, and less neighborhood focused. Buyers either love this area immediately or instantly know it's not what they want. Now, of course, these aren't the only neighborhoods people love, not even close. West Hartford has dozens of pockets, micro neighborhoods, and street-to-street variations that buyers end up falling in love with for very different reasons. My goal here isn't to label every corner of the town, but to help you understand how dramatically the feel can change depending on where you land. West Hartford isn't one lifestyle, it's several, all inside the same town and school district. One of the biggest reasons West Hartford stays so competitive is its location. Not just where it sits on a map, but how easily you can move in and out of town. Day to day, you're about 10 minutes to downtown Hartford, which is why West Hartford works so well for professionals commuting into the city without wanting to live directly in it. For travel, you're about 25 minutes to Bradley, which is huge for people who travel for work or have family flying in. Boston is about 2 hours in normal traffic, and New York City is typically 2 to maybe 2.5 hours, depending on the time of day. And you're under an hour to the Connecticut shoreline for beach days or summer weekends. From a road access standpoint, West Hartford is extremely connected. You've got I-84 running right through the area, which makes east to west travel easy and quick connections into I-91 for north to south travel. 44 is on the western side of town, and it also makes it easy to head towards Farmington, Avon, and beyond. This level of access is a major advantage, but it also explains some of the congestion we'll talk about next. Traffic is probably the most common complaint I hear from buyers once they've been in town for a bit. West Hartford isn't geographically large, but it's busy, and that shows up in travel times. Going from Elmwood to Bishop's Corner in the middle of the day, that can easily take 15 to 20 minutes. Not because of distance, but because of the lights, volume, and constant movement. The center amplifies it, especially during dinner hours and weekends, and when events are happening. You also get a lot of through traffic because people cut through West Hartford to get where they're going. Taxes also come up often. This is an amenity-rich town, strong schools, services, programs, and that shows up in the tax bill. One of the biggest tells is when a buyer says, "I didn't expect it to take this long to get to the showing." That's usually a sign that West Hartford might feel more stressful than they want long term. Another big reality check for buyers is the housing stock. West Hartford has a lot of older homes, and that's a double-edged sword. On the plus side, you get character, charm, architectural variety, tree-lined streets, and neighborhoods that feel established. On the flip side, layouts are often older, closets are smaller, lots can feel tight, especially near the center or in Elmwood, and most homes require ongoing maintenance over time. This is why West Hartford tends to reward buyers with an investment mindset. If someone walks into a house and says, "This feels like it's going to need a lot of work over the years," that's usually a sign they're better suited for a newer build town. West Hartford works best for buyers who see their home as something they'll grow into, not something that's going to be perfect from day one. Let me give you a real-life example of when West Hartford works exactly the way it's supposed to. I worked with a family relocating from Boston. They were living in a seaport apartment and thinking long-term. They wanted strong public schools, more space than city living, in a real town center, and a community feel that their kids could grow up in. They understood that West Hartford was competitive. They also understood they'd likely need to put money into the house over time, and they were emotionally prepared to act quickly when the right home came on the market. And when it did, they moved decisively. For them, West Hartford wasn't about getting the most house for the money. It was about getting the right town for the next 10 to 15 years. Once you understand all of this, the decision around West Hartford usually becomes very clear. It's a great fit for those who value access to amenities right in town, or if you want a defined active town center, or if schools are a top priority. And it's especially good for you if you're comfortable with competition and higher prices. It's also great if you're thinking long-term and are okay investing in your home over time. But it might not be the right fit if you value quiet, space, and privacy above everything else, or if you want new construction or turnkey living, or if traffic frustrates you quickly, or if you want more land than location. West Hartford is an incredible town, but it's not built for retreat. It's built for people who want engagement, opportunity, and connection. So here's the real takeaway with West Hartford. This town works incredibly well for people who choose it intentionally, and if you choose the right part of town for how you actually live day to day. That's why I always tell buyers, don't just fall in love with the idea of West Hartford, make sure West Hartford loves you back. If you're planning a move to the Hartford area, whether it's next month or next year, and you want help figuring out whether West Hartford, Glastonbury, Avon, Farmington, or any of the other suburbs are the right fit, you can reach out directly to me. I'll help you pressure test the decision, walk through real neighborhoods, and make sure you're setting yourself up for the long term, not just the next purchase. All of my contact info and relocation resources are linked below. And if this video helped you understand West Hartford more clearly, make sure you subscribe. I post weekly videos like this breaking down towns, neighborhoods, market realities, and relocation decisions, so you can move with confidence instead of guesswork. Because the right town doesn't just fit your budget, it fits your life.